Why understanding game APIs is key amid operator threats.
Hello, hello everyone. My name is Alexandre Tomic. I'm the founder of Alea. I founded Alea in 2012 as an operator. We were operating on Scandinavian markets. And the first thing we did as an operator is build a platform. We believed that we wanted to be the master of our technology. We thought it was very important to control every aspect of the product chain. So we developed the PAM, the platform. We developed the game gateway. We developed the payment gateway. We basically developed everything. And we thought it was the right approach. And then we saw Gig, I don't know if you remember, coming on the market. And they had a completely different approach where basically they were choosing the best technological partner for each of these modules of their platform. And we start thinking, why are they doing that? And they were doing that for the value of the company. When you would sell the company would have, it's very counterintuitive if you think about it, the company would have more value if everything has been developed outside because you have a backup plan. If one of your module, let's say the CRM module you're working with Optimove is not working, you can back it up with a fast track. When you develop everything inside, you rely on your own people, and these people may come and go. So it was a big game changer for us, and we started integrating a lot of different softwares. And the first one we integrated, if I remember well, was DevCode. It was a payment software because these people were focusing on payments. They were coming from the payment industry and they were doing these things much better than we do. But there is one thing that we never left as an operator, that we never left to another company. It was the game aggregator. We developed our own internal game aggregator because we thought games are at the center of a gaming operation, and games are ruled by APIs. And we believed back in time that game aggregators didn't have the knowledge to properly integrate software providers. And they were eating latency, and to be honest, they wouldn't be very relevant. Why would I choose a game aggregator in 2012 or 2014 when basically I needed 3 or 4 games providers to go on market? And that was the state of the art of the industry back in time. Since then, things have dramatically changed. We have 250 software providers, 25,000 games. I have no clue who's going to be the winner tomorrow in which market. I don't know how many software providers I need to go to address a market. I don't know if it's going to be the next big-time gaming or the next no-limit city. To be honest, I didn't even know it back in time. I saw Bonanza on the mobile phone of Nick Robinson, the founder of Big Time. It was in the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas. The guy was completely unknown. It was like 7 years ago, and he shows me Bonanza. And he tried to sell it to me. And he said, this is the next Gonzo killer. And he plays the game on his phone. And the game looks crappy. I don't know if you remember Bonanza. It looks really crappy. The design are crappy. There's a banjo music going on behind. And I say, man, you're not going anywhere with that game. You need to redevelop that. At least get rid of the banjo music. He said, no. I've played it myself. I recorded it myself. I said, okay, good luck with that. And we all know the success of Bonanza, and we all know the success of big-time gaming. And I consider myself as a game specialist. And now, let's get further. Would any one of us been able to predict the success of a Chinese game called Fortune Tiger on the Brazilian market? Seriously, it's just not possible. And I have access to a lot of data. I see all the data from many software providers, big software providers in a lot of different countries, from a lot of different software providers, data from operators, and I can't predict that until it happens. I can retro-engineer it after, but I cannot predict it. Okay. So my point is, there's so many software providers. Do we need, shall we try them all? Well, yes and no. Yes, for the reason I've told you now, because we don't know who's going to be the winner. And they're there, and we need to try. Another example, No Limit City, Push Gaming, Hacksaw Gaming, the beautiful software providers. And we didn't know they were going to work. And there's many of them that are dying and that you wouldn't want to integrate. Would you want to spend your integration team the time to integrate a software provider that has 5 games and is probably going to fail within the next 6 months? No, you don't want that. So you kind of want to integrate them all, and on the other side, there's a big cons to do that. Each time you integrate a software provider, you open your system to a possible faulty API. And that's a very big problem you need to think about. So let me get there. An API, basically, is an access to your system with using the language of the software provider. So basically, you have a young company that wants to make games, that doesn't have necessarily the knowledge, that doesn't have necessarily the resources, that are concentrating on making good games, but don't know anything about API. We are very, very far from the standards of the banking industry. We don't have PCI compliance. ISO, for us, is a concept. I mean, we have software providers that are ISO certified only in certain specific jurisdictions, okay? So what do you want to do? You want to have a dedicated team, and that's what we've done at the beginning, integrating all these software providers. We are like a Babel tower. We speak 200 different languages. And we have our own API governance. We try to have rollbacks. We try to have retries. We want to have authentications. The problem is some of them don't want to do that. They believe that this is not important. And when we explain that to them as an aggregator, as the middleman, they say, no, it's okay, we're going to go live without that. And we explain them, you're not going to go live without that because we're not going to let you do that for the safety of our customer, which is the operator, and for your own safety because you're going to get hacked. And I think we all know that during the past 2 years, we've seen a lot of hacks of software providers on big operators, and we're talking about millions and 10 millions of euros of hacks in a couple of days. So this approach doesn't work anymore. We need to go to find another way. And the only way we found was reverse integration, was to force software providers to talk our language, because we believe that we are the gatekeepers of APIs. We believe that we know better than anyone how to craft a proper API, because we've learned from the best. We've learned from Evolution, NetEnt, etc. When they were making mistakes too, because they were young companies, but now, I mean, they've put their shit together. They know how to do it. And we are learning new software providers how to do that. So my advice would be, develop a dedicated team that is going to do the integrations. Don't give it to your rockstar developer and then put him back on another task. Don't give it to a rookie developer that's going to do that like a rite of passage. Have a dedicated team for that. And if not, use a technological partner as us. Use a technological partner that is an aggregator, because at the end of the day, you didn't develop as an operator your payment gateway. Why would you develop the game gateway?